Only Pep Guardiola can better that as he started. And Pep, not surprisingly, won at 11 out of 11. But that's some going, isn't it, to hit the ground running?
It is, and it was a test for them today. They weren't at their best, but it was all about, after an international break, like we've said on numerous occasions, getting back into work, getting on the training ground and getting the right result. And it'll be interesting to speak to some of the players, but conditions looked a lot worse, particularly in the second half. You could see by the flight of the ball. So the quality depleted a little bit in the second half, but the main thing is that they adapted to the conditions and got over the line, really. So I've got no qualms at all about how they played. It was the result in the end that was the most telling thing, and the 3 points to keep them top after City go and win in the last minute was very, very important. And it just puts a little bit of daylight now between themselves and Arsenal, who of course they play next week away from home.
Yeah, what a game. The big games just keep coming. Yeah. And the fact that Arne Slot keeps telling us himself there's a lot more to come from his team, the more his methods get across, and yet they're winning when they're not firing on all cylinders in the top of the league.
Yeah, I think today, without being, standout performance, I don't think they were ever in too much doubt. They had gears to go through, and they did, and they used that. But look, he doesn't feel like the kind of guy who would do an interview and make things up. He does feel confident that the best is yet to come from his team. He's obviously very pleased with what they're doing, and results-wise, it's very important, especially at a club like Liverpool. You need to win. You need to get everyone on side. He's certainly done that. He's done the hard work to get his foot in the door, and then I think he's really looking forward to stamping his authority on the team now. Yeah,
from a coach's point of view, when you're trying to get some tweaks and new methods over, you have to be winning at the same time at a club like Liverpool, don't you?
Yeah, but it helps combine with everybody, the fans and the players, because when you're trying to bring slightly new ideas, I think it's the game that he would have learnt the most about his squad so far, because I think they were tested in different ways. In the first half, particularly, Chelsea felt like they could play through them quite a lot, through the pressure of Liverpool. I think they were getting that slightly wrong or slightly off. Maybe it was a case of after international break when you're not quite at it and you leave spaces and they play through, and Chelsea were a good team. And I never felt like Liverpool had a real control of the game in terms of, where I think their best moments came generally when they kind of went longer and then they got the second ball, and then they've got game changers higher up the pitch. So in the quest to make them this sort of possession, slightly move towards more possession, they got tested today, and I think they'll probably learn, and he will learn a lot from that.
And as Frank said at half-time, it's interesting, not just today, that they have done that at times when they've needed to under Arne Slot.
Yeah, and I thought they were better doing that today. Whenever they went long, because in the first half, Chelsea almost went man-to-man for them and pushed right up the pitch. Whenever they went to Salah direct from Kevin Kelleher goal, he's so strong, he normally keeps the ball, and suddenly they've got possession 80 yards further up the pitch. And I think, horses for courses, Chelsea pressed them today, you go long. If people drop off, that's when you start to play. And there's no set way of playing football. You play what the opposition do, and if the opposition make it hard for you, you go over the top of them. And I thought Liverpool adapted to the conditions and to the opposition really well today. As I said, it was very close. The two crosses at the end of the game, one from Neto, and then they had one from the Cole Palmer free kick. It showed you it was just millimetres really that kept them in the game, but they just found a way to get over the line today. And it was equally as important as going out and winning 3-0 against different opposition, because it was a hard game. Chelsea are a good side, aren't they? And they're only going to get better the more experienced their players become.
Is that a skill in itself, Frank, sometimes to mix it up like that in a game and realise?
Yeah, for sure. And I think Liverpool have always been good at that. And when you know your players and you can hit Mo Salah or Nunes, when he does it well, he can hold it up. At times he can be erratic on that side of his game. But absolutely, I'd say it's the context of the game. A team want to come and pressure. You've got strong players, quick players at the top end of the pitch. And I think there's an understanding that you miss the pressure. And I think it always works with the Liverpool crowd. I worked up in Liverpool with Everton as well. Sometimes they want to see that. If it's their play, be physical, catch up with the play and show your energy, which Liverpool do have as well in midfield. So I think it's certainly more than just a good alternative. I think it's part of the strategy.
Yeah, I think especially with the way Chelsea press, it leaves big gaps. Talk about Kelleher, put it into Salah. It's not like he's putting it into a channel for him to contest a header. There's so many yards in front of Mo Salah with the big press from Chelsea that Kelleher can afford to drop it 30 yards before him and allow him to really pin his fullback. And that's a real strength of Mo Salah, and he proved it over and over again. So I thought it was really clever from Liverpool.
OK, Joe. Well, Micah said he wanted to speak to one of the Liverpool players. We're going to do exactly that and speak to the match winner, Curtis Jones, live at Anfield. Does that sound good, Curtis? Match winner at Anfield against Chelsea?
Yeah. That seems about right.
Very well done. I mean, everyone said this was your biggest test today. How does that feel to come through it?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great. You know, I played well. I was involved a lot. But the most important thing, you know, we came away with all 3 points.
And talk us through the goal, because the boys in here saying the first touch they were really impressed with.
Was it a good touch? I can't even remember actually.
Tell us now.
I've just come inside and just know that Mo will always, you know, we'll always play the ball there, you know, have a run. And I thought it was important. At first, I thought I was going to go with, you know, one touch, but yeah, it was a good first touch there, as I can see. And then I'm happy that I scored.
Curtis, it's Mac. Firstly, two questions really. Congratulations on a fantastic week. Have you had much sleep?
Yeah, I've had loads actually. Did you not see?
No, I know. And secondly, how were the conditions today, particularly in the second half? Because it looked quite windy, really.
I felt that contact and stuff, so I went down. It was a penalty. Yeah.
Big part of the job under this manager, probably under the old one as well, to get up and down, to be in both boxes.
Yeah, 100%. For a player who wants to play in this team, you've got to run, you've got to have energy, you've got to be all over the pitch. You know, you've got to help with the goals, with the assists, and if you're in the centre mid, you know, you've got to go and press, you've got to get back, you've got to help out. And that's what I try and do.
And I did forget something, because with the second penalty, the one that got overturned, it's a hell of a forward roll.
Yeah, I mean, I told the lads that. I said,
Lovely
I've done a flip, but I've actually got to sort of whack a little bit. But I didn't even know what happened, if I'm honest. But yeah, I didn't have it, so, but it's fine.
Were you surprised it got overturned? I mean, you won't have seen the replays. It is a weird one, because actually from one replay, it looks a penalty. From another, it looks like he gets a chunk of the ball.
I've not seen it. I didn't feel any sort of trips, anything like that. I know that he came and, you know, we collided and stuff, but I don't know. I've not seen it back, so I can't really say, if I'm honest.
Okay, so then you burst into the box. Chelsea have just equalised a couple of minutes later. First touch, you just think it's getting away from you, and then you just get a little bit of your right foot on it.
Yeah, you know, there's been times, you know, when I've arrived in the box, it's always been a first time one. You know, there was one against Leicester where, you know, I came in at the back post, and then there was one against Spurs as well. And as soon as Mo had the ball, I've made the run, and I thought it was going to come, and it did. But it kind of like bounced as well, so I thought I've got to have a touch. It's got to be perfect touch. And I was fortunate enough, you know, it was in my path, and I got the goal.
And I see from the celebrations that congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what, you've been a dad a week now?
I had a week, yeah. It's the best thing ever, man. I'm playing with a smile on my face. That's, you know, it's a different type of joy. And my little girl will be proud as well. So I hope that my girlfriend at home and the baby are there with a smile on their face.
And I know the new managers slightly changed things in that you don't sleep in the hotel the night before games now. You stay at home. I'm guessing it was a spare room last night.
Yeah, for sure. I was in a spare room. I mean, but at the same time, you know, she's a little dreamer as well. You know, she's just away. She just wants to feed and change it, and then she's back asleep. So, you know, I could have stayed in the main room. I would have been fine, but I just thought, you know, it's wise that I stay in the spare room. And yeah, I was wide awake and I had energy.
I tell you what, you're making the rest of us look bad. Dads shouldn't have that much energy, especially new ones.
I'm sorry, dads around the world.
Well played, mate. Player of the match, well deserved.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
One for your little girl.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheers, buddy. Brilliant.
Oh, that's a lovely thing to happen. They have their first baby together, and then he gets the Player of the Match award, scores the winning goal against Chelsea, and you can see he's just floating at the moment, isn't he?
He is. He called Pat lad.
Yeah.
That's in the,
Is it lad or lad?
a bit of both, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the big terminology we use in the city. So it shows that they get on well. But he was brilliant. He was outstanding, and he's still at that stage where he's still not ever really made himself first choice, where he knows he's playing. You've got McAllister and Gravenberch who are outstanding, so it's going to be tough for him. But I mean, what a performance that was! And you think of the quality on the pitch, you think of the money that's been spent on the pitch, and for a local lad to put a performance in like that was outstanding.
What does he need to do to get a role in this team week in, week out?
I think he's got to keep playing like that. You know, at the highest level. He's up against, as I said, two top players in there, but he's going to get plenty of games. Liverpool will play 50, 60 games every season. And he's making himself on performances like that, because I keep thinking at the back of my head, will Arne Slot go back in for Zubimendi in January? When you see performances like that, you're thinking, no. You know, over the last few weeks, I've thought maybe Liverpool could still do with a midfielder, but when you've got someone like Curtis Jones and you've got those three battling for two positions, that's a great quality. But when you see him at sort of both ends of the pitch, Studge, I mean, you know him as well, a little bit training with him and playing with him.
Yeah, I played with him for, it was a year or 2 years when he first came into the first team. And he's always had the ability, always. It was a case of, can he bring it all together? Can he develop into becoming a top-class centre midfielder? And right now, the things he's doing, the confidence he's playing with, he's gained experience over the years. He came into the fore probably 4 or 5 seasons ago. And now you look at him now, how he's even speaking. You can see he's grown up a lot. And technically, he kept Cole Palmer quiet today as well, which is, we gave Cole Palmer the talk today, but you see Curtis today and playing on that side of the pitch. He's come off the football pitch with a goal and performed top class.
In training, what did you see from his, what was his main attributes? Because he's sort of in this team and sometimes he's attacking, sometimes he's defending. He's sort of like
what he's improved on is his pressing. That's what he's improved on. The technical ability has always been there. 1v1s, step overs, flicks around the corners, balls in behind. Like, he's got the lot. It was the defensive side of the game that was the concern. And with a manager like Jurgen Klopp, the onus was on the midfielders to run around and press. You see, with Arne Slot now, he's coming and he says, you know what? I'm going to put you in a number 10 like against Crystal Palace. He was playing number 10. This week, okay, we're going to have you on the left. You're going to go up against your former under-21s teammate. You got familiarity there. You kept him quiet today. So you're seeing him now, the confidence he's playing with. Top draw.
I think what you mentioned there, I think when we talk about a modern midfield player, the terminology, is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? That was almost a throwback to when I started watching football and we just called someone a midfield player. Whether you were Brian Robson, you were Steve McMahon for Liverpool, you were Peter Reid for Everton, it was like you had to defend and you had to also get forward. And that's the type of performance we saw today. He was a little bit of everything, doing a defensive job on Cole Palmer, getting into the box, getting a goal, getting a penalty. It was.
Can that go against you though? Managers now with the modern game, they want systems.
Yeah.
They want someone in a holding mid. They want a number 8. They want a number 10. At times, because he's good at both, but probably not the best at either. Will that go against him, would you say?
No, I think what we saw him to do today, I'd be very surprised if that wasn't the message from the manager. I want you to get forward. To see him, maybe he'd end up there once, but he was consistently getting forward. As I said, the two should have had another penalty for my mind. He's getting a goal. I think there was something Liverpool saw maybe in Chelsea and Arne Slot where you get forward, you can cause them real problems, and that's what he did.
Yeah, it was a really great performance from Curtis Jones. We said 1-1 penalty, could have won another penalty, scored a goal. You firmed up on that.
You went 50-50
yeah,
at half-time.
50-50.
Someone being in the DMs.
No. You can leave DMs out.
All right, don't bring your CBS chat here.
The most important thing if you want to have a chance of winning a game like this against a very strong Chelsea is that you work so hard as we did. So the way we threw ourselves in front of the ball, first half, Curtis, second half, Dominic, is also what you need against such a strong team. And in the meantime, we created, I think, a few very good chances and were, in my opinion at least, but maybe I'm a bit biased, a bit unlucky with some decisions being made.
Okay. Do you want to expand on that, the decisions that you weren't happy with?
No, it's not that important anymore because we won, but I think it could have been a crucial decision to overturn the VAR, overturn the referee decision on the pitch, which I couldn't understand he did. And I think if the referee looks at it for a minute, it already shows that the VAR shouldn't have interfered. And even in my opinion, if you look at it on a screen, you still feel it's a penalty. But that's me. And then there was, of course, the decision of the red card, which I saw yesterday was a red card in a similar situation.
But this is right at the start of the match you're going back to now. There were so many little decisions to make, wasn't there? Not little, big decisions, actually.
Big decisions because penalties or red cards influence the game a lot. But it's also nice that these moments are inside the game because it also creates a lot of energy. The fans really stood up today as well. They helped us a lot, and that probably comes from these decisions as well because they're just as biased as I am. Is biased, right?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
In the end, a good win against a very strong Chelsea.
It's interesting that you mentioned the fans and the Anfield factor. Was that your most emotional Anfield game so far from the fans? Also looking at you on the touchline, I think it's your first booking.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, the booking came from the fact that I think there were 3 or 4 decisions that went in our favour. So it was a handball. I don't know if it was, but everybody was screaming for it, so I did as well. Then there was the red card situation. Then there was the penalty situation just afterwards. So there were a few things going against us, and I think sometimes you cannot hold your emotions, and that's what you saw with me as well. he deserved to give me a yellow card, or he should have given me. I wish he did. I deserved it. I have to put it like this.
Not often we hear a manager admit that.
Yeah, but this was so clear. This was just as clear as the penalty he should have given the second time.
How good was Curtis Jones today?
Very good. Very good. Very good individual performance. I think the whole team worked very, very hard. Curtis had a difficult job. He had to control Cole Palmer, which is not easy because this player has some quality.
And you did keep him quiet today. You, Curtis, everyone.
Yeah, it's a team effort, but Curtis was mostly responsible for that. So I think he did that really well, and he added some very important moments to it because he was he 2 times involved in the penalty also?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And then scoring a goal. So he was on both parts of the pitch, very important for us.
So I think I said this to you before the game. Does a good start now become a great start? You're making this look easy.
I think everybody who saw the game knows that this wasn't easy. And I said it before, Chelsea showed last season, second half of the season, how good of a team they are. Invested even more. So it's for us, it's very, very good that we made a bit of a gap now towards them, because they will be, in my opinion, in the end of the season in top of the league.
Okay,
well, maybe not top, but they will
in and about.
In and about, yeah.
Okay. Well done, brilliant.
Thank you.
A relaxed, jovial and smiling Arne Slot as well. He might be. One defeat for Liverpool so far this season. Everything else has been a victory. They've got the meanest defence in the Premier League. They conceded only 3 goals in their opening 8 games, and they've won all but one of them, and that was that Nottingham Forest game, which happened here at Anfield after the last international break. So not only have they beaten Chelsea today, but they've done it after an international break as well. And he was very relaxed, Daniel. Do you think that for the players, that change from Jurgen Klopp, who, yes, was very outgoing and was a big hugger, but also had an intensity about him? And it's not about criticising one way or the other, but just the change.
I think it's refreshing. You know, I'm not going to say Arne Slot's not demanding, but I think everybody knows how demanding Jurgen was, both on the pitch and off the pitch. I think from even, Kurt said being at home the day before the game is a different mindset for players, and they can feel more relaxed just being at home sometimes. So I think all in all, the players, of course, are buying into the manager. I think his personality comes across very well. And clearly the players are performing under him. So whatever he's doing behind the scenes is clearly working, and long may it continue for him.
He's not as emotional as Klopp, but he got wrapped up in the game today, didn't he? Basically, that's what I'm talking about, the first sort of Anfield atmosphere he's been involved in. And, Liverpool were under pressure, under the cosh. And you see his reaction, I think, when Nunes maybe got a foul given against him. You could see he just got himself sort of wrapped up and maybe showed little elements there of Jurgen Klopp. But he's a different manager. And I think the thing that Liverpool supporters enjoy, I think, at the moment, is the fact that he's not trying to be something else or play up to any. He's being himself, and he's made a brilliant start.
It's worked so well, and I think if you'd looked at the fixture list at the start of the season and thought, get to this point, coming up to the start of November, and Liverpool have lost one of their games across all competitions, you'd have taken that, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course, and it's interesting coming into this game. Liverpool and Chelsea to a certain extent. Chelsea played City first game, but since then he's been on a decent run. Liverpool have obviously had a great start to the season, and people say they haven't played anyone. And yeah, that's right. Liverpool have come out on top tonight. But a big thing of being successful is winning the games you're supposed to win. That takes you a long way in a football season. Now, you look at Man City last season, they didn't beat Liverpool or Arsenal. They still won the league because they won the games they were supposed to win. So if you do that, whether you're Chelsea, Liverpool or anybody else, you're going to have a very good season. It becomes a great season then if you start taking points off, your rivals. And I agree with what the manager said there, that I do think Chelsea will be there or thereabouts in terms of certainly top folks. I thought they put on a pretty good display here today.
And you said, Mike, at the final whistle that this was the game that made you think Liverpool have serious challenges again this season. It's always hard to prejudge with a new manager.
I think it's always difficult, and we're sort of looking at systems and what the manager's going to bring. I think he's brought a little bit of calmness. I think defensively, Liverpool